The AFE Momentum GT cold air intake is going to appeal to the 2016 to 2024 Camaro SS owner who's looking for both form and function in one easy-to-install package. This is a premium closed-box intake that features a large, high-flow oiled filter, making for an all-inclusive package that looks as good as it functions. And the best part is, there's no tuning required. At its core, an engine is really just a big air pump. The more air you can get in, the better your combustion will be, and the more power you can make. And an engine like the LT1 in the Camaro is a big old pump that needs a lot of air to work. Enter the AFE Momentum GT cold air intake. This is a less restrictive setup than your factory intake, and it's going to allow up to 14% more air to flow into your engine. So you'll end up with better response and some additional power too. Now, we're not throwing this one on the dyno to test it, and just like with any intake setup, don't expect huge gains here, but you should still notice a difference in the response and how your engine performs. Now, it is also worth noting that this intake does not require you to tune your car, but as I like to say with things like this, if you want to get the most out of your setup, a tune is a good idea. So, all that out of the way, let's talk about how this goes about sucking in more air. The big ticket item here is that this is a sealed or closed box intake. So this box is going to seal against the stock intake scoop from the front end of the car, using this little included scoop right there. So that is going to pull in cool air from outside of the car. Cool air is more dense, and that means better combustion. This box is larger than your factory one as well, and thus will have more capacity. All that feeds into the huge filter. This is a large 9-inch tall 360-degree oiled filter, and AFE calls it their Pro 5R. Now that oil on the surface gives you an extra layer of protection, and it can better filter out dirt and debris than the equivalent dry filter. They still flow exceptionally well, and in fact, AFE claims 98% efficiency from this filter. It's got a huge amount of surface area on the outside, and you've even got a little bit here at the top too. Plus, these pleats are quite deep. Now, oiled filters can also be cleaned, re-oiled, and reused, and that is definitely the case here. So that means that maintenance is easy and it will last you a long time. So if you plan on keeping your car for a while, an oiled filter is a great choice because it's going to save you from replacing it every year or so. There's even a handy little window at the top of the box so you can check on the condition of that filter without having to disassemble anything. The filter then leads into this roto-molded intake tube, and you've got a little resonance chamber on the back end here too. This is nice and smooth on the inside, so it too will flow better than your stock setup. And you also get the other big benefit of a setup like this, and that is the additional intake noise. Now that is personally my favorite part of a cold air intake. You get some more sound, but it's not obnoxious or intrusive like it would be if you have an exhaust that's really, really loud. It's pretty sedate when you're just cruising, but when you crack open the throttle, you really get to hear the engine sing. Construction is also a highlight here. The intake tubing and the airbox are both made from roto-molded cross-linked polyethylene. This material is lightweight, it's strong, and it's very heat resistant. The filter is a 5-layer cotton gauze synthetic media, and it features progressive layering, so each subsequent layer gets more and more dense to provide excellent filtering, efficiency, and dust holding. And since this is again an oil filter, it's very good at keeping the air coming in nice and clean. Plus, it's going to have that long lifespan we were just talking about, so you can clean and re-oil it, and you're back on the road. The filter also features a flexible polyurethane coupling for easy installation too, and we'll touch on that more in a moment. As far as price goes, this is going to run you about $550, and that does make it one of the more premium options on the market. But this is a quality piece, and it's backed by some really solid engineering on AFE's part. So if you want a high quality intake without having to spend a total fortune on it, this is a great way to get it. Now this is going to be a rather straightforward installation, so we're going to give it a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter. Budget about 1 hour to get this all wrapped up, and you'll be back on the road. Like I mentioned earlier, the kit comes with all the hardware you need to get this done, and it is an entirely bolt-on setup. You will have to reuse your stock mass airflow sensor and your stock PCB lines, but really that's about it. And again, everything is going to just bolt right into place. So this is quite a simple job for anyone to tackle at home. And we're going to show you exactly how to get this done right now. So for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you just need a 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch extension, 11, 8, and T20 socket, flathead screwdriver, 13/16 wrench, and diagonal cutters. All right, today we're going to be installing an intake on our Camaro. First, we're going to watch a quick video to uninstall a stock one, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
So our first step is going to be to disconnect our mass airflow sensor. So we have 2 T20 torque screws that we need to remove, and then we can just slide it right out of our tube. So now we can disconnect our crankcase fitting. There's going to be a gray tab on the back. You can push in. Pop right off like that. And then next, we have to disconnect this one-time use clamp. So we'll have to cut that off and then remove it. All right, now our next step is to loosen our clamp, and we can do that with an 8mm socket, and then we can lift this whole airbox out.
All right, so now we're gonna start by getting our air box in. Now you wanna make sure that your grommets stay in the body. As you can see, we're missing one, so it's no big deal. But just line up our 3 dowels, push that into place. Now we're gonna get our filter in and also talk about our plug here. Now this is an optional plug, you can leave it out, just want a little bit of noise, but it goes in the bottom of the box down here. Grab your air filter, just make sure you can access your clamp, and that just simply snaps into the air box, just like that. Next we have our intake tube here. Now this has an adapter for our vent tube here, and then our mass airflow sensor. We're gonna get our sensor in place, just slide it in. Then we're gonna take our supplied T20 screws, thread those in and tighten them down. We'll just thread our other one in, grab our ratchet, extension and T20 socket, and tighten those down. Go ahead and slide this into our air filter. And then we just have our adapter tube for our fitting here. Once we tighten our clamp, that'll sit in there all the way. So we're just gonna thread this in by hand, and then we'll grab our 13/16 wrench and snug it up. Doesn't need to be crazy tight. Grab our vent tube and just snap that over. All right, I did just realize when I put the air box in, I forgot to put our adapter for our ram air. Luckily, we have enough room. Just lift this up. This is just gonna snap in place. And go ahead and put this back down. Line up all your grommets. We'll keep moving on. Next we have our copper oil. It's gonna go on our throttle body and intake tube. As you see, I have both of our clamps over there. So we're just gonna slide this over. It's the reason we left the filter loose, so we can maneuver this around a little bit. Just rotate this. Get over our throttle body. Grab our tube. We have our last clamp, just let that rest over. Push that in, and then we'll go back and tighten everything down. So we're just gonna tighten down all of our clamps now. So I'm gonna grab my ratchet, extension, and 11mm socket. Tighten all 4 of these down. I'm sorry, all 3 of these. Come back to this one. Then just grab a flathead screwdriver and tighten down our smallest clamp. All right, then you're all set to go. And that wraps up our install of our AFE Momentum GT cold air intake with a Pro 5R oiled filter, colored black for a 2016 to 24 Camaro SS. And remember, for everything Camaro, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.